Okay, point 3. In some of the most insignificant places, God has powerful challenges and hidden blessings. Now I want to show you some of those, okay? A, we can find hidden blessings in some otherwise boring genealogies, okay? Go home sometime and count out the genealogies, and you can find out that Noah was the 10th generation. And you know what we see in Noah? The first time that the word grace is used in the Bible. And Noah found what in the eyes of the Lord? Grace. God introduced grace as he went down and looked throughout the earth and said, I'm going to save Noah and his family. He found grace. Was Noah perfect? No. The guy was a drunk and he was doing something he shouldn't have been doing in his tent. And he had a perverted son who did something he shouldn't do when his father was drunk. But you know what? God delights to show mercy. The 20th generation from Adam, guess who that is? Abraham. Wow. And in him we see a God who calls by election. God looks down in the earth and he couldn't find anyone, so he says, well, I can't find anybody, I'm just going to pick one. And he picked Abraham, and he says, Abraham. And Abraham says, yes. And he followed God. That's election. What a wonder that is. And then thirdly, Boaz is the 30th generation. So see, you just count out in groups of 10, and every 10th one has a real powerful message. By the way, they all have a powerful message, but I was just doing this to get you interested. We see a God who offers hope, as in Ruth. What does this mean? It means love that doesn't falter or change is the message of Ruth. Hope for Jews and Gentiles may be found in the love of God who takes a Gentile Ruth. Finally, letter B, we can find some powerful challenges for dedicated Christians. Number 1, following the Lord takes definite choices. We must make definite choices to follow the Lord. It doesn't just happen. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to follow the Lord. It's a series of choices, of definite choices, of saying no and saying yes and saying no, of denying and of putting on. It's so much in the New Testament. You put on the blessings of the Lord and clothe yourself with humility, and you say no to the flesh. Number 2, and that's like Ruth clinging to Naomi. Number 2, following the Lord often means we must leave behind things that were once dear. Boy, if that isn't the message of the New Testament, often it's a very painful thing to follow the Lord. We have to say no and leave behind things dear, as in Ruth leaving her old family. Number 3, following the Lord demands constant discipline. Now think about this. Ruth could see her old home in the hills of Moab every day from the fields. Can you imagine, especially if the Encyclopedia Judaica was right, she could have gone back to royalty? And she was out there gathering her skirt up and putting grain in. Have you ever, I used to bale straw and hay. Prickly and you get hot and it always, those bales used to, they'll make your legs bleed if you're wearing shorts. They're so prickly and everything. And here she's out there in the hot sun doing all this, and then she had to go and beat it out and take it home to feed her mother-in-law. And the whole time she's gathering, she's looking up and she can see the green hills of Moab. Constant discipline to not go back. She made a choice. Number 4, following the Lord offers incredible rewards. Ruth is invited into the family of Boaz, into the line of David, and into the very lineage of the Messiah, Jesus Christ. Oh, there's great rewards for following Christ. And as the songwriter said, I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. The world behind me, the cross before me. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. And I hope when you think of the book of Ruth, you think about 2 women, one turned back, and her descendants were losers. And one wouldn't turn back, and her descendant is the ultimate winner.